Alright, so what is up everybody? My name is Kenneth from KT Lifestyle, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the different places where you can go in order to do your video editing. So let's dive right in. I wanted to make this video because I really want to emphasize the importance of knowing how your environment affects your productivity. In the end of the day, video editing is a really long process. There's a lot of different steps into your workflow, from having to kind of film your videos in order to be able to cut your videos up, arrange your videos the way you want, put the different types of media, the music, the add-ons, and then leading up to the exporting and all that stuff. What I really focus on this channel is to really help people, especially beginners, on how to really speed up their editing process. So this video is kind of really aimed to understanding how your surroundings affects your productivity, especially when it comes to video editing. So before we go into the list of like the top 3 places that I really suggest for you to video edit, I really want you guys to step back and kind of think about how your scenario is at home. Think about how your setup is. I'm going to share you guys how I feel like when I edit at home. So just the other day I was doing some video edits at home. My family has this kind of like way where we don't really eat meals together at home. My parents make the meals and then they put it out on the table. For me, I don't really have a personal desk at home, and sometimes I do work on the dining table since it has a lot of space. So since it has a lot of space, I'm able to kind of set up my laptop, set up my external hard drive, set up my notes if I have any notes, especially when it comes to like planning my videos. And my parents, what they do when it comes to food and when it comes to meals and dinner and lunch and stuff, they cook the food and stuff, they bake the food, and then they kind of place it on the table and everybody eats on their own time. Since I'm kind of like working in the dining table, the food's already in my vicinity. It only takes me like a couple of steps, like to close my computer and then go ahead and reach for like a snack, and even sometimes reach for a whole meal, right? So what I'm trying to kind of demonstrate with this is that if you guys have been in the same scenario as me, like it's so easy to be kind of like tempted with what your surrounding has to offer you. Not even just working at the dining table, but just working in my house in general. Like I get really distracted easily with like, say, watching TV, for example. Like yesterday I was doing homework and I would like stand up every single like 10 minutes or so because I'm so distracted. I have the ability to get up and get food, to get water, to get drinks and stuff because I'm in the comfort of my own home. But think about it, if you're able to control your environment and really control what things you can and cannot do, especially when it comes to video editing, you can be so much more productive. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into my top 3 places that I really suggest for you guys to go to when it comes to you being productive and starting your video editing process. Okay, so the very first on the list is the libraries. This might seem obvious to a lot of people, but a lot of people don't go to the library, even though it's kind of like one of the best places to really be productive in. So the reason the library is one of my suggestions is that when you're at a library, think about the people that are there and what are they doing. So in the library, it's generally really quiet. So there's a great place for people that really work well in places that are really quiet. And think about the people that go to the library. So there's usually kids that kind of go ahead and rent books, but then most of the people there are there to kind of study, to do work and stuff on their laptops, or sometimes even just read books. Most people in the library, they do a lot of work. And the thing about this is that you are in an environment where there's going to be people that are going to be working. So you also want to think about if you work better when you are around people that do work as well. That's how it works for me. Like I like to be able to be in an environment and have my surrounding be people that are also being productive. So if that's you, then definitely a library is something that you want to consider. Another thing that is a plus for a library is that compared to a house, you don't have a lot of distraction. You don't have quick access to food like how you do at home, and there's not a lot of distractions there because everything's kind of real quiet, right? If you want to get food, then most of the time you're more than likely going to have to kind of pack up your stuff, go outside, and then walk to a restaurant or drive to a restaurant or something like that. And that's going to take you a lot of energy and a lot of time. So being in a library really helps you kind of like control your surroundings and control the amount of activity that you can do. And then the next place that I like to go to is coffee shops. Whether it's Starbucks or a local coffee shop, I really like to also do my video editing at a coffee shop. Not only does it give you free Wi-Fi, you could also buy coffee as well. In a library, you don't really have the ability to buy coffee, but at a Starbucks, if you're really hungry and if you want a drink, it's right there. You're at a coffee shop, you have outlets around you, and then you have kind of like a similar ambiance and a similar surrounding as you do as a library. The only thing with coffee shops is that the noise level is different compared to a library. In a library, it's really quiet. At a Starbucks, it is a lot louder, especially considering you're gonna have to be working in an environment where you're gonna be hearing people talking, people chattering. You're gonna be hearing the coffee blenders in the background going and stuff like that. So really ask yourself if you are able to work in this type of environment. If not, then maybe a better place for you is really sticking it out at a library and then just bringing some snacks and a drink with you when you go. Another thing that you can ask when you're editing is, are you able to edit with earphones on? And if you can, are you able to use those earphones and kind of block out all the sound when you are at a coffee shop? And if so, then maybe Starbucks is okay for you, especially if you maybe have noise canceling headphones. I have Anker Sound Core, kind of like AirPods, but they're like half the price, and you know, they're noise canceling and stuff. So that's what I use when I edit personally. And then they're noise canceling, and so I don't really hear the outside noise when I'm at a coffee shop, so that works perfectly well for me. So definitely evaluate how you work best and pick between whether you want to work at a library or a coffee shop. And my third place that I really suggest for people to go to when they are going to edit their videos is a park. And so the reason I want to kind of suggest going to a park is that a park is really great, especially if you want to take advantage of like the weather. If your weather is like really sunny, or it's like a really great weather for you to kind of edit in. And if you like just being outside, you're able to definitely edit at a park. There are some drawbacks also when you want to edit in a park, and that is kind of like you're definitely really limited to like the amount of battery that you can use when you have your laptop and you want to edit at a park, because most of the time at a park there are no outlets, so you aren't able to kind of plug in your laptop and then kind of edit for a long time. But I really suggest it if you are been editing at a library for a really long time and you kind of just need a change of place or a change of location, definitely going to a park outside for an hour or two can definitely help you refocus on your editing. And another thing you want to consider when you're editing at a park is that you really want to find a place where there is shade, because think about how your device is going to react to direct sunlight. You really don't want your devices to overheat, especially when you're outside. It just takes a little bit of time for the sunlight to be in direct contact with your laptop or your phone or whatever you're editing on, and it can overheat. So you definitely want to be able to find a shady place for you to edit in. So far in this video, I talked to you about the 3 different places that I really suggest for you to do your video editing. So number 1, the library, number 2, coffee shops, and number 3, the park. So hopefully editing in one of these 3 places will help you increase your productivity levels. And for those of you that have edited in more than one of these locations, feel free to comment down below and tell me how your productivity levels change depending on whether you edited at home or edited at a coffee shop or wherever you decide to edit. And also tell me if you have your own secret location that you feel like you do a lot better editing. So that's gonna be it for this video. While you're waiting for next week's video, definitely check out my channel, the rest of my videos. So my channel is definitely focused on helping you guys, helping the beginners out there about speeding up their video editing process. So definitely check out these 2 videos right here that YouTube suggests for you. But that's gonna be all for this week. So I will see you all next Monday. Woo.